If everyone can begin to move and get directly into your seats, able to come right in and go right down to your seats, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, I'm back. If you have a seat next to you, raise your hand. Ooh. Everyone in the back, please find a seat. Everyone, everyone? We're going to get started? Okay. Thank you for filling the seats. I thank you, everyone, for being so cooperative. For those who didn't receive their goodie bags, they'll still be here afterwards. So see the table. You have a shirt. You have some other goodies in there. I want to make sure everyone gets it, okay? All right. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ethel M. Wise. I'm commissioner, resident commissioner, and I'm also president of Wilson Park Resident Council. How's everyone doing? Y'all sure? Y'all sure you're having enough sex? That, I was just trying to break the ice. Okay, I just want to welcome everyone. This is our first employees meeting. I mean, all staff meeting. And I'm proud to be a commissioner with PHA, and I'm also proud of my fellow commissioners, and I'm especially proud of Jeremiah. But this is welcome, welcome, welcome. And like I said before, remember to have sex.
Good afternoon. That was a good one, Commissioner. Let's give it up for Commissioner Wise. Good afternoon, all. I'm here to give the finance update. My name is Naina Okpa, and I'm delighted to join you all today to congratulate Kelvin Jeremiah on completing 15 years of service to PHA. Yes. And to celebrate an extraordinary record of accomplishment. A strong and stable financial foundation has been essential to everything PHA has accomplished over the past 15 years. It is also critical to achieving our ambitious plans under the $6.8 billion Opening Doors Initiative. PHA continues to face the challenge of controlling and reducing operating costs, while also lowering the cost of producing new housing. Even with these challenges, I am pleased to report that PHA's finances are in excellent shape. Reflecting continued financial growth, strong liquidity, disciplined stewardship, strategic investment in affordable housing. This assessment is not based solely on my opinion or that of our Chief Financial Officer, Celeste Fields. It is supported by the conclusions of independent auditors, bonding rating agencies, investors, and other experts who have closely reviewed PHA's finances. One of the most important measures of an organization's underlying financial strength is its net position. A positive net position means that PHA's assets exceeds its liabilities. Independent auditors confirmed that PHA ended fiscal year 2025 with $1.77 billion in net position. an increase of 144 million over the prior year. Over the last 10 years, PHA's net position has increased by approximately $779 million. That sustained growth is clear evidence that PHA's fundamental financial health is strong and continues to improve. PHA's financial strength has also been recognized by the credit markets and internationally accepted rating agencies. These agencies are important because their ratings influence PHA's ability to raise the capital needed to support its acquisition and development agenda at favorable interest rates and borrowing terms. Two rating agencies have recently issued favorable evaluations of PHA's financial position. In July 2025, S&P Global Ratings assigned and confirmed a AA- rating with a positive outlook on PHA's debt. And they cited strong financial performance, liquidity, management, and strategic planning. In addition, just last month, Fitch Ratings assigned A+ rating with a stable outlook to PHA's bond program, reflecting PHA's strong operating profile, financial flexibility, and sound governance practices. Independent auditors have consistently confirmed the integrity of PHA's financial records, the strength of its internal controls, and the accuracy of its financial reporting. In fiscal year 2025 and prior years, PHA received clean, unmodified audit opinions with no reported material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. Clean audits build trust with regulators, investors, and the public because they demonstrate that PHA is prudently managing its funds. They also support a lower cost of borrowing and reinforce PHA's ability to manage large-scale resources effectively and efficiently. Most importantly, PHA continues to leverage its financial strength to preserve and expand housing, affordable housing. PHA currently has a development and preservation pipeline exceeding $1 billion and approximately $461 million in capital deployment capacity, consisting of $311 million in bond financing capacity and $150 million unsecured line of credit. This financing platform gives PHA the flexibility needed to advance acquisitions, redevelopment, preservation initiatives, and long-term growth of PHA's housing stock. A key financial accomplishment has been PHA's acquisition strategy, which Dinesh will highlight in his presentation. By leveraging its financial strength, PHA has been able to rapidly and efficiently acquire more than 1,700 affordable housing units. at a total price of about $330 million. Management estimates that replacing these units through new construction would have cost about $1.1 billion, demonstrating the significant value and efficiency of this strategy. In summary, PHA remains financially strong and well-positioned for the future. As a result of Kelvin's leadership, yes, and the collective efforts of the entire PHA team, PHA remains financially resilient, liquid, well-governed, and positioned to continue investing in affordable housing while maintaining long-term financial stability. Thank you to Kelvin and to everyone who has contributed to this outstanding record of accomplishment. Thank you.
I'm still a little moved by Commissioner Wise's speech, so. And I'm glad I'm not the one following her. But good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to be here to celebrate all we have done over the past 15 years under the transformative leadership of our President and CEO, Kelvin Jeremiah. Just looking back to when most of us, a lot of us I've seen today, most of us have been here in 2011 when PHA faced existential crisis. HUD had just dissolved the board, placed the agency under administrative receivership. PHA's management has lost confidence of the residents, the investors, our workforce, and the citizens of Philadelphia. Maintenance, operations, and development plans were stalled. Agency finances and future viability was in jeopardy. But with great tenacity and vision, Kelvin addressed this crisis head-on, spearheaded the PHA recovery plan, and implemented a comprehensive management improvement plan that put service of our residents first, focused on reducing fraud, waste, and abuse, and insisted on the highest ethical standards, transparency, and accountability. I expect Kelvin will have a lot more to say about this of his extensive reforms and improvements that he has made over the last 15 years in his remarks, and the invaluable contributions that so many of you that's in the room and listening everywhere else have made. So kudos to you guys. But I want to first really highlight the challenges and the opportunities that lay ahead. I know Nina spoke briefly about it, but we have embarked on the Opening Doors Initiative, which at an estimated $6.8 billion is the single most ambitious development agenda in this agency's history. Most of you guys know through this initiative we have set an overall goal of growing the portfolio to 20,000 units. We are going to do that in two strategies. One, we're going to preserve the existing housing stock that we own and operate. That's the 13,000 or so conventional sites, scattered sites, BAPMAC units, and then we're going to expand it by another 7,000 through new construction and acquisition. But in order to achieve this goal, it's also essential for PHA to reduce its operating costs, which has historically been much higher than comparable properties in both private and other affordable housing markets. We need to bring our cost structure down, and our methods need to align with private market standards. That needs to happen so that we can provide better service to our residents, and also we need to ensure long-term viability of our assets, so we can't operate at a higher cost. So that's why we've been restructuring the management and maintenance over the last year. I know we had some growing pains and we'll have some hiccups, but we will continue to focus on that area because it's so critical. It's also critical for us to be very creative and innovative in thinking about the ways to both expedite how we bring those units online and also make sure that the families that have been on this waiting list for a long, long time get housed sooner. That's why we are acquiring these units from the private market, and it's one of the most exciting elements of our strategy that PHA is able to create permanent affordability at less than half the cost. I know Nina spoke about it before, the $311 million versus $1.1 billion, so it's more than less than a half. So, just as a proof of concept, in the past 2 years, PHA has acquired over 1,700 new units in 18 multifamily developments, many in opportunity neighborhoods that we historically had zero to no subsidized housing. That's so crucial. We have some projects like Avenue V and Somerset that are brand new construction, which allowed us to have a lot of our folks from the wait list, whether it's a transfer wait list or new wait list, to be housed in these properties. And we also acquired the Dane and Green Manor, our high quality, well-maintained existing housing in strong neighborhoods. We made this acquisition in a matter of months, not years, with creative financing from our finance team and our legal team, and with half the cost of the new development. Of course, the acquisitions is just one part of the strategy. Through the opening doors, we will continue to develop new housing and redevelop existing housing. Needless to say, we're just getting started. Let's just talk about a few projects that we'll focus over the next coming months. We will be acquiring another 2,300 units on top of the 1,700 units. So, adding to the 1,100 rehabbed units in the past 18 months through the force accounts from 901 to 903, we'll be finishing up the rest of the scattered sites portfolio of the 2,500 units. At Bartram, we'll expand on the phase 1 construction, which is currently underway, investing over $330 million, developing 680 units, and implementing a broad array of neighborhood improvements. At an even larger scale, we'll work on our development partners to construct 1,000 new mixed-income units and commercial facilities while dramatically upgrading the infrastructure at West Park. This is a massive $500 million project, which is currently under construction. And building off the successful rehab of the Hartranft Community Center, PHA will build 341 units on Fairhill Apartment site in 3 phases with a projected cost of over $232 million. And finally, at Harrison Plaza, we'll be expanding on the completed senior tower to revitalize the entire site with over 500 new homes there, again with an over $263 million in investment. And I haven't checked with Kelvin this morning, so there might be a lot more projects, so we'll see. But again, in all seriousness, the scale at which PHA is operating is truly inspirational and breathtaking. I want to personally thank everyone again in this room for all that you have done individually and collectively as a group and as a department to support PHA's accomplishments over the last 15 years. We need your continued energy, your commitment, and passion to meet these challenges ahead. And to our CEO, Kelvin Jeremiah, thank you for 15 years of visionary, resilient, and deep compassionate leadership. Thank you for always pushing us to achieve excellence. What have you done for me lately, Dinesh? Provide the highest quality housing and opening more doors for the residents of Philadelphia. Thank you.
Yeah, my turn. Uh-oh. Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to acknowledge my RAB board who's here and a few other residents that I saw. want to acknowledge the fact that we are part of this process. When I was asked to introduce Kelvin, I thought of a bunch of stuff to say. But I'm going to start with the website, in case some of you haven't checked it out. And the first couple of paragraphs go like this. Since his arrival at PHA in 2011, first as Director of Audit and Compliance, and then as Administrative Receiver, Kelvin implemented a comprehensive set of organizational and financial reforms and completed a recovery plan that addressed all of the management and governance deficiencies, which led to HUD, Administrative Receiver, and the control being brought back to the Housing Authority. Excuse me. He served as President and CEO of the Philadelphia Housing Authority, the fourth largest public housing in the United States, and the largest provider of affordable housing in Pennsylvania. In his role, he oversees management and ownership of 13,000 affordable housing units, administers a 22,000+ unit housing choice voucher program, and is responsible for over 800 employees and a $650 million annual operating and capital budget. That's from the website. Now, let me tell you about the Kelvin Jeremiah I know. When he first came, there's no secret we did not get along. And there were many challenges. Because I'm one of those folks, not what you say, is what you do. And let me assure you, what he did is phenomenal. His word. Negotiating with Kelvin Jeremiah is not a small task. He clearly does not like to lose. And those of you that know me know I don't like to lose either, so y'all can imagine some of those discussions. But what I've come to find out is that he truly believes in keeping his word. And he's done that all the way through this process. His commitment to the mission of the Housing Authority and his goals, bar none. His commitment to the folks that we service and the folks that benefit, because we always talk about residents, employees. We don't talk about the developers, the folks that build, the folks that are always trying to get their hands on PHA money and who think they can do it better. But he holds it down. He's not intimidated. And Lord knows folks are always coming for his neck. That's where we come in at, the residents, having his back, because he's demonstrated. He's demonstrated his commitment to residents. The initial process of creating affordable housing, as residents, we didn't initially get it. We were concerned about the changing from Section 9 to HCV, and we worked through it. And he made sure that we understood it and that we have input. For those of you that don't know, we have a meeting every month with our CEO to go over the board resolutions before they even hit the board. But most importantly, the fact that he has come up with a strategy that increases public housings in places that a few years ago would have been turned upside down with that not in my backyard. You know what I'm talking about. Some of you that have been here a while, not in my backyard. Well, we're in everybody's yard. And to him, we owe that, because he's had the vision. and the determination. And most importantly, the ability to stand strong. Y'all don't know the pressure. Every time he talks about the money that has been raised here at the Philadelphia Housing Authority, I say to him, you done put another ring around that bullseye on your chest. Some more folks trying to get at it, trying to direct it, trying to get in the way. I say this without fear of contradiction. It has been a pleasure to work with you, Kelvin. Don't let it go to your head. And you know, you're getting a lot of accolades here today. Tomorrow, don't, you know. Yeah, just for the day. Folks, we have gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, ups and downs. Folks have come, folks have gone. And those of you that remain have done one hell of a job, each and every one of you. I have the privilege of working with you as the president of RAB, as one of the resident commissioners. There are two of us on a 9-person board. You heard earlier from the other one. Yeah, y'all heard. And the other 7 board members are committed to making sure the job gets done. It is a pleasure to work with y'all as well. And of course, Janie. Janie has been committed to the Housing Authority since forever. Since forever. And we love her dearly. Kelvin, keep up the good work. I'm not a part of your evaluation. However, the board members that are take in consideration how hard you work, the work you do, and congratulations for 15 years. Thank you.
Why should I get weary? Tell me why should I? Why should I? Hey, no way. Lord, 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 to the Lord himself. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So my daughter told me this morning, Daddy, don't cry. It's not cute. I won't cry. Good afternoon, PHA. Good afternoon, PHA. First, before I even get started, we start rolling, let me just say at the outset, before I get into my remarks, that rumors of my departure are premature. This is not an announcement of a resignation. I am not announcing that I'm running for mayor. I have no interest, none whatsoever. And so let me be clear that this meeting is not being convened to announce any of those things. Rather, it is an opportunity for us to come together as an organization to reflect on where we have been, to recognize the extraordinary work that we have done together, and to recommit ourselves to the mission of this agency and serving the people who depend on us with integrity, compassion, and purpose. So before I begin, before I say anything else, before I say a single number or name a single building, I want to do one thing. I want you to do one thing for me. Look around this room. Look at the person to your left. Look at the person to your right. No, seriously. Some of you have worked together for 20, 30 years. Some of you started last month. It really doesn't matter. There is somebody that started last week. It really doesn't matter. Every one of you here is the reason we are gathered here today. 15 years ago, I walked into this authority, and I want to tell you the truth about that morning. I did not walk in as your president and CEO. I walked in as the director of audit and compliance, which, if you know what that title means, it is not the job that makes you popular at the authority or makes you friends. I came to a place that was in receivership, a place that had lost the trust of the very families it existed to serve, a place that the headlines had all but given up on. And I came here as an immigrant kid from Grenada who arrived in this country as a teenager, a small suitcase, and a conviction that where you start does not have to be where you finished. That conviction is the whole story of my last 15 years at PHA. And it is not just my story, it is ours. There is a passage in Scripture that shares my name, and I have carried it with me through a very hard season of this work. In fact, it is etched in my arms. In the 29th chapter of the book of Jeremiah, the Lord says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." 15 years ago, this authority did not have much hope, and it was not sure it had a future. What we have done together is simple to say and hard to do. We decided that every family in our care deserved a plan for hope and a future worth believing in. Let me remind you where we started, because you cannot truly understand how far we have come until you remember the ground we are standing on. When I became the president and CEO in 2013, this authority was under federal receivership. Washington did not trust us to run our own house. Think about what that means. The nation's fourth largest housing authority, the largest affordable housing provider in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and we had lost the right to govern ourselves. So we made a decision. We decided we were going to earn that trust back, not with press releases, but with work, quiet, disciplined, unglamorous work. We cleaned up our finances. We rebuilt the system. We restored accountability. And within a short time, we did something people said could not be done. We returned this housing authority to local control. We took our house back. PHA, you took our house back. Today, look at what we steward. More than 13,000 units of affordable housing. A housing choice voucher program serving more than 22,000 households. A budget of roughly $650 million. And more than 800 employees, the 800 people in this room and beyond, who make it all move every single day. But I have never once believed that our job is to manage units. Units are not our mission. People are our mission. A unit is a roof. The home is a life. And what I want to spend most of my time on this afternoon is not our balance sheet, it is the lives. So let me tell you about Andre Johnson. Andre grew up in a Richard Allen Homes public housing, ours. Andre, like so many of the young people who grew up in our communities, Andre wanted more, not just for himself, but for the people around him. In his own words, I always wanted more for myself. Here is what we did. We did not hand Andre a speech about bootstraps. We handed him a path. Through our home ownership program, Andre bought his first home in 2019. Through construction training, training made possible by PHA, he learned a trade, and then Andre did something extraordinary. Andre bought a blighted, boarded-up row house from PHA, a house that squatters had been living in, a house most people would have driven past. He paid $1 for it. Let him tell you, $1. And Andre rebuilt that house with his own hands and his own company. And in 2024, he sold it. A beautiful, restored 3-bedroom home to a first-time PHA home buyer. A charge nurse, somebody who had never owned a home in her life, now holding her own keys. When they asked Andre why he does this work, he didn't talk about profit. He said, I just wanted to help someone that looks like me and comes from my background. That is PHA. That is the whole thing right there. In one sentence, we do not just house people. We build people who go back and lift the next person up. Let me tell you about Nigel Wiggins and a business called Corny's. Niger is a PHA resident, and through our entrepreneurship program, a program that we built with Asia Coney and the RAB to turn our residents into their own bosses, Niger launched a gourmet corn and flavored popcorn business. Now, I know, when the CEO stands up and starts talking about popcorn truck. But I want you to understand what that truck represents. That truck represents is a woman who was told that her zip code was her ceiling, and who instead became an entrepreneur through our entrepreneurship program. More than 1,400 residents applied to take part in our business creation workshops, and nearly 50 have completed our intensive boot camp for resident-owned businesses. 1,400 neighbors who raised their hand and said, I have a dream, and I am ready to work for it. Niger is not an exception we found. Niger is a promise we kept. And when I say her business by name, Corny's, I want every resident who is listening or watching to know your name could be next. And let me tell you about Philly Seeds. In 2013, in the same year I became your CEO, we planted something. We created Philly Seeds, our own nonprofit built for one single purpose, to invest in the human beings who live in our housing. Because we refuse to accept that a child born in public housing should have smaller dreams than a child born anywhere else in this city. Since then, Philly Seeds has awarded more than $4 million in college scholarships, down payment assistance, security deposits to over 1,600 members of PHA community. 1,600. Think about that number in your head. 1,600 of our young people and our residents who walk onto a college campus or their first homes, many of them the first in their family to ever do so, because this authority decided they were worth betting on. And I have stood at those scholarship ceremonies. I have watched mothers cry. I have watched grandmothers who raised these kids in our developments stand up and clap until their hands hurt. Those are not photo opportunities. Those are the moments I will carry with me for the rest of my life. We did not just keep the reign of heads, We put the future in their hands. And let me tell you about the student at Vox Big Picture School. In the heart of Shawswood neighborhood, a school named Vox, a historic school, closed, dark, a symbol of everything the neighborhood had lost. People said a housing authority has no business reopening a school. That is not what we do. That is not our lane. Guess what? We did it anyway. We invested millions to bring that building back to life. And in 2017, the doors of Vox Big Picture High School opened again to the children of that community. A college preparatory school, every founding student on day one was handed a tablet. And do you know what happened? Every single first-year seat filled, and we had a waiting list of 100 more families desperate to get in. I said at the time that a high-quality neighborhood school is critically important to Shawswood if Shawswood is to become a neighborhood of choice. But standing here today, I will tell you what I really meant. Those students walk past new homes on streets that used to be rubble. They walk into school we refuse to let die, and every day they learn a lesson that is not in any textbook. That somebody believed in this neighborhood, that this neighborhood was worth saving, and that means they are worth everything. The students of Vox are our answers to everyone who ever wrote off North Philadelphia. And so because I mentioned Shawswood, let me stay there for just another moment. Because it is the clearest picture of what we are capable of when we refuse to think small. When we began the Shawswood-Blumberg transformation, the poverty rate in this community was nearly 70%. 70%. Today, it is roughly 31%. The median home values have climbed to well over $200,000 in a neighborhood that the market had all but abandoned. We brought a supermarket to a place that was a food desert. We built our own headquarters here on purpose because we wanted our future tied to that community's future. And Shawswood is not alone. Through the fiercely competitive Choice Neighborhood Program, we have won 3 grants totaling more than $100 million. In North Philadelphia, at Norris, in Shawswood at Blomberg, and now at Bartram, Kansasing. Across those neighborhoods, we have delivered thousands of new mixed-income homes and helped drive hundreds of millions of dollars of investment into communities that had been starved of it for generations. And through our $6.8 billion opening doors plan, the most ambitious agenda in this housing authority's history, we have committed to preserve every single one of our 13,000 units and to build or acquire thousands more, with thousands already completed or under construction. And so when people ask me what legacy means, I tell them, legacy is a crane in the sky over a neighborhood that had given up hope. And before I turn to the people who made this possible, let me tell you a few things that we didn't talk enough about. The work that really makes the headlines. We changed what this authority is worth. We earned clean audits, independent audits, a AA level credit ratings from Fitch and Standard & Poor's. We acquired homes for an average of $225,000 a unit when new construction runs past $600,000. And we turned 16 tax credit awards into more than $200 million of private investments. And we became one of the great economic engines of this city. more than $1.5 billion in construction, and an estimated $4.5 billion, that's American money. I know I sometimes have an accent. $4.5 billion impact on Philadelphia's economy. We preserved thousands of homes that could have been lost, repositioning aging public housing across 59 developments, and modernized 3,000 scattered sites across our city. We opened doors to the people who the system often forgets. Supportive housing for young people aging out of foster care, a second chance initiative for returning citizens, a housing opportunity program that helps families reach neighborhoods with stronger schools and greater opportunity. And ladies and gentlemen, when this city faced its darkest days, we did not flinch. In the depths of a pandemic, we turned our sights into vaccination centers. We put thousands of tablets and Wi-Fi devices into the hands of students so their learning would not stop, and served meals. More than 8,000 children received free meals from PHA. We built a workshop, a workforce development center with the help of the RAB and resident leadership, a youth and family center, and a Jobs Plus program that has already moved hundreds of residents into new jobs. And we secured a 10-year extension of our Moving to Work agreement to protect the flexibility that makes all of this possible. This is a record of a transformation, and there isn't one single line of it that any one of us built alone. Now, I have to say the most important part, and I need you to truly hear me. Every number I just gave you, every home, every scholarship, every business, every neighborhood brought back from the dead, I did not do a single one of those things. You PHA, you the employees did it. And I have been so inspired and motivated by your work. The caseworker who stayed late because their family was about to lose their voucher. The maintenance mechanic who got the heat back on in an elderly residence unit before the coldest night of the year. The leasing staff who treated a young mother with dignity when the rest of the world had not. The finance team who rebuilt our credibility one clean audit at a time. The police officers who know our residents by name. The people who answer the phones when someone is at their worst moment of their life. And let me put faces to what I mean, because I am so tired of talking about staff as if they were an abstraction. I want to name a few of our own. Janaea Jordan. Our own Prince, Dinesh Nala. Our CFO, Celeste Fields. And PHA's secret CEO, Annie Chang. And I can stand here and name so many more, and I wish I had the hours to do it. But I lift up these four because their stories are the story of this authority. They did not parachute in from somewhere else. They came up through the ranks, starting in one role, learning this work from the ground floor, proving themselves shift after shift, year after year, and today they lead entire divisions of this organization. When a young person walks into PHA for the first job or for their first job, unsure whether this is a place where somebody like them can rise, I point to Janaea, to Dinesh, to Celeste, to Annie, and I say, watch them. That is your ceiling, because there is no ceiling. We do not just build homes for our community, we build careers within it. We are proof that where you start is not where you finish. And let me tell you about two more of our own. The ones whose names will never appear in a headline, employees like Mark Patterson. Mark probably doesn't know that I know his name. One of our maintenance specialists who went to Germantown House again and again on the coldest days of last winter to make sure our seniors never went a night without heat. Thank you, Mark. And another gentleman, Tony Manila. A superintendent who gave this authority more than 25 years, working the night shift, answering the call whenever a resident needed him, long after the rest of the city had gone to sleep. They are my quiet heroes, the ones who give the very best of themselves in service to others. And they are the truest face of this authority. I have had, ladies and gentlemen, my name in the newspaper. I have been given honors I did not deserve, and a doctorate I still cannot quite believe. People have even tried to talk me into other jobs, other offices, and every time my answer has been the same, because I already have the job that I wanted. I get to do the work that makes a real and meaningful difference in people's lives. And more than that, I get to work with each of you. You did this work. You did it. You did it when the funding was uncertain. You did it through a pandemic that asked everything of you. You did it on the days nobody was watching, and those are the days that actually count. So before I close, there are some people I must thank by name, because nothing we have built these 15 years was built alone. First and foremost, to our Board of Commissioners, thank you. Thank you guys for joining me today. Sandra, Herb, Shahid, Asia, and Ms. Wise, and those who are absent. You gave this authority steady hands and principled leadership. You asked the hard questions. You held us to a high standard, and you never once lost sight of the families behind every decision. Your governance is the reason we earned our credibility back and kept it. To my cabinet, my senior executive team, thank you. Give them a round of applause. Come on. You carried enormous weight, often without recognition and always without complaint, except Larry Redican. You turn vision into operations and promises into homes. I have leaned on you more times than you will ever know, and you have never let this authority fall. And none of this work, not one home, not one scholarship, not one neighborhood brought back to life, happens without partners in government who choose to invest in our residents. To the mayors I have had the honor to serve alongside, Mayor Michael Nutter, Mayor Jim Kinney, and our current mayor, Sherelle Parker. Thank you for believing that housing is the foundation of a greater and stronger Philadelphia. To our former and current City Council Presidents, Darrell Clark and Kenyatta Johnson, and to every member of the City Council, thank you for standing with our families. And to our champions in Harrisburg, and yes, in Washington, D.C., HUD Secretary Scott Turner and his staff, thank you. To Governor Josh Shapiro and the GSD team, Robin Wiseman and PHFA, to State Senators Vincent Hughes and Sharif Street, and to the entire state and federal delegation who fight for Pennsylvania's families every single day. Thank you for your partnership. And to a giant of this city, a man whose fingerprints are on a generation of progress in Philadelphia, our retiring Congressman Dwight Evans. Thank you. Congressman, this city is better because you gave it your life's work, and we send you into your next chapter wrapped in our gratitude. And to our forever board member, Janie Blackwell. Janie, thank you for your enduring service and your support. And now let me just slow it down just a bit, because the next thank you is some of the ones that are closest to my heart. To our resident commissioners. To our resident commissioners, Asia Coney and Ethel Wise. Where do I even begin? You have been the conscience in every room. You have made sure that no plan, no budget, no grand idea ever moved forward without the voice of the people it was meant to serve. You have fought for this community with a fierceness and a love that has humbled me more times than I can count. Asia, Ethel, thank you for keeping us honest, and thank you for keeping us human. To our resident advisory board and to every one of our resident leaders, thank you. You are not our audience, you are our partners. You show up to the meetings, you organize your neighbors, you carry the concerns of families who might otherwise never be heard, and you do it as volunteers, out of nothing but love for your community. This authority is better because you refuse to let us forget who we work for. And to every PHA resident and every Housing Choice voucher participant, we are honored to serve. This last one is really for you. You are the reason all of us come to work. You trusted us with your most important thing your family has, a place to call home. You have shared your struggles and your triumphs with us. You led us into your lives, and you have shown me time and time again what dignity and resilience look like. Thank you for the privilege of serving you. It has been the greatest honor of my life. Thank you. I am not crying, just allergies. 15 years ago, I inherited an authority the country had lost faith in. Today, I lead an authority that the country studies. This is not a sentence about Kelvin Jeremiah. It can never be about Kelvin Jeremiah. This is a sentence about all of you. But I did not come here this afternoon to look backward. I came to remind you what we are for. Somewhere in this city, right now, there is a child in one of our homes who is going to be a nurse, who is going to be a teacher, who is going to be a developer like Andre, an entrepreneur like Niger, a CEO like Kelvin Jeremiah. A scholar out of Philly Seeds, and a graduate at Vox. That child does not know our names. That child will never read the audit reports Nina referenced. And that is exactly as it should be. Because our job is not to be remembered. Our job is to make sure that children are never, ever limited by where they were born. And to build amenity-rich communities that give all of our residents a sense of pride and dignity. That is our mission. That has always been our mission. And as long as I have the honor of standing at the front of this authority, that will be its mission. There is a teaching that has guided people of conscience for more than 2,000 years, that whatever we do for the least among us, we do for something far greater than ourselves. Scripture puts it this way: truly I tell you, whatever you did for the one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. PHA, I have never believed that our residents are the least. I believe, in fact, that they are the most resilient, the most overlooked, the most deserving of everything this authority can give. But I also do believe this: how a city treats the family that with the least is the truest measure of this city's soul. And for 15 years, you, PHA, all of you, has been Philadelphia's soul. You have given PHA Philadelphia something to be proud of. So let me end where I started. Look around this room one more time. Seriously. You're the team that took a house back, and you filled that house with hope. Thank you for 15 years. Thank you for every family you lifted. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for letting me serve alongside you. There is a song that I love by Ajamu. You guys asking what the heck is that? It's a Caribbean calypso artist, for those of you who don't know. And I promise that I'm not going to sing it, and I think you should really be thanking me for that. But I want you to listen to a little bit of the lyrics.
Why should I get weary? Tell me why should I? Why should I? No way. Lord.
Should I dance?
Lord, it's so heavy. I'm moving on. Yes, I'm moving on. Lord. Oh, God. From the cradle to the grave, little by little, stage by stage, I never get weary. No, I never get weary.
What do you think? We can dance.
Laughter, time of fear. Good and bad, I had my share. I never get weary. No, I never get weary. Just like the breeze that blowing high on the mountain top. I can't stay still, I gotta keep moving. Just can't afford to stop. Yeah. Why should I? Why should I?
Thank you. I bet you didn't think you would have a cultural experience. It's Carnival in Grenada, and I miss it for the first time in years. I haven't been, so that's my little celebration. But as the lyrics of that song goes, I carry its promise in my chest every single day. As long as there is a family in this city without a safe place to sleep, our work is not over. As long as there is a child in our homes whose dream is bigger than their circumstances, our work is not over. As long as there is one more door to open, one more life to lift, our work can never be over. And I wouldn't want it any other way. Let's get back to work. Our residents are waiting. Godspeed.
On the cradle to the grave, little by little, stage by stage. I never get weary, no, I never get weary. Sorrows and laughter, time of fear. Good and bad, I had my share. I never get weary, no, I never get weary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like the breeze that blowing high on the mountain top. I can't stay still, I gotta keep moving. Just can't afford to stop. Yeah. Why should I? Why should I? Lord, the Lord is so happy. Lord, until my work is over, I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna be up full, brave and strong. Can't let the system hold me down. But when my work is over, that is when I lay me down. For nothing more and nothing less. Till Judge, I put my soul to rest. Hey. Tell me why should I? Oh, I never get weak. No, I never get trial and crosses in my way. I still gonna find some time to pray. I never get weary. Rasta never get weary. When temptation comes on strong, I've got to face it like a man. I never get weary. No, I never get weary. Cause in this time where pleasure and danger walking side by side, I can't stay still, I gotta keep moving. There ain't no place to hide. Can't hide from myself. Oh my God, I gotta move along. Until my work is over, I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna be up full, brave and strong. Can't let the system hold me down. But when my work is over, that is when I lay me down. For nothing more and nothing less. Till Judge, I put my soul to rest. Hey! Rasta moving on. Yes, I'm moving on. But Lord, through the valley as I walk, persecutors on my back. I never get